Welcome everyone to another Empires and Puzzles books videos. Today I'm going to do a roster review. I got a number of requests in the last few weeks to do a review of my roster, and Bawang Soy in my alliance just asked me today again about it. So I guess I will go ahead and do a roster review for all of you. I currently have 483 maxed heroes. That breakdown is 175 3 stars, 160 4 stars, and 148 5-star heroes. Those numbers are going to be going up in a bit because I'm finishing maxing some heroes right now. As always, I guess we always have heroes in the works. So I'm going to jump in and go through the teams first, and then I'll go through origin as far as where heroes come from. So my first team is always my leveling team. Some of these are waiting for mats or waiting for me to decide if they're going to be leveled next. So Quentin, I just recently got up to 70. Guan Yu, I just got up to 70. And then these three darks, you know, I thought it was going to be LeBlue, and then I pulled Hulda, and now I got Khonshu. So feel free to throw in the comments below which one of these three you think should get the tabards. So while I'm kind of hanging out on the 5 stars, I have a second leveling team of the 5 4 stars from season 5. So if you followed my channel or heard me talk about my roster in any way in the past, you would know that I always keep one copy, at least one copy, of every 3 and 4 star hero in the game, including their costume. I have at least one of everybody maxed. The only ones that I don't have at this point maxed are these 5 here, which is why I'm working on those. I am rainbow feeding them, so red to red, blue to blue, green to green, etc., since that is most efficient for getting them up. Not as necessarily as efficient from a food standpoint, but an XP standpoint. So as soon as these 5 are done, I will be back to having all 3s and 4s maxed. Again, at least one copy. We'll go through some of the heroes later who I have multiple copies of. Not sure why that's called Revengers, but this team here is one of my farming teams. I like this for farming levels in Season 5 and some in Season 4. I like them because Frigg, Zimkitha, and Morel all hit all enemies, so it doesn't matter if you just pluck one off, they're still going to hit everybody. And Freya helps with the minions. They also help pick off somebody. If there's like a random person left, they might die from a minion before having to use another special. And then Toxicondra, obviously, for healing and boosting the mana. If I'm farming Season 1, I tend to use the Wonderland family. They are really exceptional because their family bonus includes... So I'm using the entire family, so I get 12% mana generation and 20% critical chance, and they're a rainbow team. So every tile on the board has a solid chance of doing critical damage, and the mana boost keeps them fast, and White Rabbit's fast, Jabberwock's fast, Alice is fast, Queen of Hearts and Hatter are average. Everybody has a level 3 mana troop, so they farm pretty quickly, and there's no need for a healer on that team. So, always love the Wonderland family. So, when I raid in wars, if you've been following my wars, I've mostly been doing 4-1 in wars with an off-color healer. Raiding, I still enjoy raiding mono. I just find it fun. I do have some 4-1 teams that I use. But this is my current team for raiding a team that might be fire tanked or heavy on fire, or if I just feel like using blue. This is a pretty vicious team here. Just recently got Master Lepus on here. But I like that Moral, Crystalis, Vila, and Master Lepus all hit every enemy. Crystalis and Vila add 2 different damage over times between water damage and frost. And then Ariel, of course, always looking for healing plus mana boosting. Alright, so if I'm raiding an ice team, you guys are probably familiar that I have my fast greens that I like to use. The Hatter I've been using a lot because there's so many taunt heroes out there now. The Hatter's great at stealing taunt, or even the repost from like a Ferret. You get that counter attack. And then I've been running 2 healers on this seeing a lot of these resurrection teams with Mother North and some of the Santa family. So I've been using quite a bit of healing and stealing. Oop. Hit the wrong button there. So my Dark Raiders, using this holy team here. Leonidas for the elemental defense down. Zekina adds 1 defense down there. Feline for the big strong hit. And Zuri's an awesome healer. And then everybody knows what a pain Sif can be. Since so many people are using hit-alls on their defenses, it's great to have Sif just pop them out on the counter attack. So rating holy. No surprise to see Exnofold in there. Guardian Panther for the elemental defense down. Dr. Moreau and Hannah. I like that those 3 are hit 3, so I can just eliminate a good chunk of the board. And then Toxie, obviously, the healing and mana boosting. It tends to be a quick team. Nature Raiders, I recently maxed Captain Kestrel, so still getting a little bit of a vibe on him. Instead of using 2 defense downs, elemental and regular, I'm using Marjana along with Zimkitha. So elemental defense down and then attack up. Garnet as healer, and then Captain Kestrel and Mitsuku. Sometimes I'll pop Mitsuku out and put another fast hero in there, but I like her reflect on ice. So this is the defense team I currently have been using for raids. It's just basically an assortment of fast heroes that do a lot of damage with all mana troops. So that has been working fairly decent. Haven't really felt like changing that up recently. So the last 5 teams here are my Titan teams. I have gone out of my way to build what I feel are the ideal Titan teams. If you think there's a way that I can improve these, I'm always open to listening. So got Mickey for the obvious needs of big boosting attack. Hoping to get Oceanus, the red hero that's going to be like Mickey, that's coming out in Atlanta soon. Sun Jianyang is the increasing defense down, and New Khafre, who is the elemental increasing defense down. So the 2 of them are really great together. Arius boosts attack and, more importantly, the critical damage. And then Zenobia does that boosting of the tiles and awesome attack stat. Ice Titans, Tarlak for the big boost, Brienne for costume Brienne for the increasing defense down, Evelyn for the elemental defense down, Ratatoskar for the boosting of the tiles, and then France for increasing damage. So that's a pretty beastly team. Attacking Holies, we got Mickey again, Trevel for the biggest defense down for a dark hero, Guardian Panther for elemental, Karnov for boosting the tiles, and then Onyx just there for the big tile boost. I guess I could theoretically pull out Onyx and throw Franz in there. Lose another purple, but gain that extra tile damage. Haven't tried that yet. Dark Titans, Leonidas and Zekina, obviously for the 2 defense downs. Then I hit Franz for the big boost on damage, and then I still run Ranveer. Before you criticize Ranveer, check out the last Mythic Titan. I did hit the 3rd highest hit in that event with Ranveer on there, and Feline for the big attack number. And then the fire team. This is pretty standard with Mickey, Athena for the increasing defense down, Frida elemental defense down, Franz for the big attack up, and then Jot for the tile boosting. Alright, so that's it for my 10 team slots. We'll jump in and look at each, I guess. I'm going to go in by origin to show where the heroes came from, so depending on season or event, and we'll go through those next. Continuing the roster review here, I'm going to be doing this by origin. I hope that this makes sense. I can't really think of a better way to do this, but we're going to do it by origin. So when we do the sort up here, you can do sort by origin. It shows where the heroes came from, and it's starting with season 5. So we just had season 5, obviously just opened, and I was fortunate enough to pull 13 of the 15 heroes that were available. I missed out on 5-star Ice Sobek, who I really wanted, and the Nature El Nadaha. But I did get Khonshu, who is in the process of being leveled. I got I actually got 3 copies of Papyrus, and I fed one away already. I'm not even sure I'm going to feed level any of these. I'm not super excited about that hero at all. Geffarr, I showed I have on my Titan team already with the increasing elemental defense down. So the 4 stars, you saw my leveling team there. I have 1 of each being leveled. Ultimately, I will be leveling 2 copies of Ahotep. I will be doing 2 copies of Skoratek, and I will max 3 copies of Junaid. The other 2 I'm not super excited about, but I will max 1 copy of each of them just so I have them. Ptolemy and Asmia. So not super excited about those heroes, but I'll at least max 1 copy. For the 3 stars, you can see here I've already maxed 1 copy of each of them. Where are they? So Aquila is up here. And we got the yellow, green, and fire right in here. And Jareth is over here. So Aquila is the only one that I'll be doing a 2nd copy of on the 3 stars. So that's it for Season 5. Season 4, I got Hulda, so I actually have all Season 4 heroes, which I think was pretty incredible. I was very fortunate with pulls during Season 4. You can see there's a bunch of Exnofolds here. I think I have 6 copies of him. I have 4 maxed at the moment. 2 copies of Elizabeth. Let's see, I'm not going to go through. I'll just go through the ones I have maxed. So I maxed a copy of Elizabeth, Zenobia, and sorry, I'm just seeing something on my Excel sheet that's wrong here. All right, you know, instead of going, I was trying to go by color order on my Excel sheet, but I'll just go through what you're actually seeing. That'll probably be easier to do that way. So Moral's obvious line limit broke and maxed, as is Elizabeth. First Xenofold's at 20. Moreau and Hannah both at 20. Kongolok is just a beast, maxed. Zenobia, Zakina. I have 2 Lepiotas here maxed. Only 1 has emblems, and then there are the 3 other Exnofolds that I use for war. And got that beautiful lady here, Hulda. She might be next. We'll see. Crave Crush, I stopped at 70. If you guys have any feedback on any of these heroes I didn't finish, I'm open to feedback. Passport, Hannah, Gargamel, they're all at 70 now. I have Hannah with 20 emblems up here, so this is a 2nd Hannah. And you might see another Gargamel later. I tend to keep 2 copies of all 5 stars if I get a 2nd. So Griffins, I have 3 of those maxed. I never emblemed them. I have those maxed. The reason I have 3 of those is for hitting like a Cyprian or a Boral that has counterattack. 3 of these guys, they hit and go right past the counterattack. I rarely use them just because I don't have emblems on them. And sort of in a similar way, Zilale, she attacks the heroes on the end and gives defense down. So if you stack Zilales, I max those thinking they would whack continuously harder on top of each other with the defense down. But even with 3 of them going off, I wasn't super impressed, so I haven't really used them much. Tetuk here, Mac. Got 2 Rockamushes. Sometimes use those. They can be really good in a bloody battle. Hilo, 3-star healer. Valor Mark. And then you're going to see some other heroes thrown in here, like this 2nd Elizabeth that's not maxed yet. Morris, 3 Poppies. I'm not a big fan of Poppy. For some reason, she hits a bazillion targets when I'm fighting against her, but when I use her, she only ever hits 1, so I kind of got bummed out with using her. Got a Gramps in there. Exira, I have yet to be excited about. Oda is Sniper, so not super excited about. Lughade, 2 copies just sitting there, and those are the backup Exnifolds. The other Gargamel. Captain Nemo, again, another sniper. I don't really max a lot of snipers. Octros. I wasn't super impressed with Octros when they came out, but man, when I'm fighting against them, it keeps giving me food for thought to max an Octros. And then there's backup copies of Moreau and Hannah again. Akarog was somebody I chased originally and then got kind of turned off from Akarog from fighting against him. Not really super impressed. And I know there are a bunch of people out there who are huge fans of Professor Lindenbrock. I have so many healers, and to get a slow healer in there, to just have not found valuable. Ursulo is another hero I'm not super excited about. Other copies of Gargamel. These probably could be fed. Yeah, they're not locked. They're ready to be for the soul exchange. Phileas Fogg, since I have 2 Evelyns maxed, I haven't really have a need for... I mean, the only reason for me to do Phileas would be for Titans, because he hits a bigger elemental defense down than Evelyn. My double Frigs there, the Ratatoskar. 3 Cavassars really get the bees going. That can be pretty fun. Grevely I almost never use. And then there's another backup Frig and Ratatoskars. Heimdall, great for the rush. Gillenbursties, I got a pair of those and I rarely use them. I know a lot of people are Gilly fans, I'm just not. Same with Agnes, 2 copies maxed and almost never use them. Tyr used to be one of my favorites. I like those revive heroes. I've been trying to incorporate him more and more. Shade Reeve is an interesting hero with that critical chance and attack up. It's kind of like a mini Ares. Lady Loki, long time stopped at 370. She would have been a powerhouse against the Toloria Gravemaker Vila fights back in the day, but she came a little too late. Stonecleaves, yes, you're seeing that correctly. There are 5 Stonecleaves. If you've not seen my Stonecleave fights with 5 of them, I have a playlist on the channel here. They are freaking awesome fights. They're really fun to play with, so I would suggest checking those out if you haven't seen those fights. Tyr, backup copies, and another copy of Lady Loki there. Lord Loki is one of my favorite heroes to play with. And everybody knows the importance of Scotty doing the attacks against minions. Double Jots, Nordry, Odin, Sif, Mist. I got 2 Mists, only one's emblemed. Thor, I maxed Thor and I never used Thor. I kind of regret maxing him. Brynhild is decent. Pair of Bjorns. I got some spare 5 stars in here. Geffeon was great for a little bit, but again, in the land of me maxing a sniper that I rarely use, she sits. Sumli, Boulder never really got any food. There's 2 copies of Boulder and a backup Geffeon. Sudri, the 3-star. Biof, I like him as tank in some events for 3s. Eldun and Anwinder rarely get used. Fenrir, he's a pointless hero. I don't get Fenrir. Never use him. My Paravow Freaks, and below them is the 3rd one. Maybe they'll get fed someday. Give them some food. Almer for the 4-star elemental defense down. Fura almost never gets used. Jarver almost never gets used. Freya I use fairly frequently on those farming teams. Norns is great on these Mythic Titans, depending on the team you're using. Got 2 Mireweaves. I like that they were very fast, so I used them for a while, but haven't touched them in a bit. Backup Freya and Norns. And we are jumping into Season 2. So, Season 4, like I said, I have every hero in Season 4. So, I'm pretty excited about that. Season 2... I have every hero that's currently available, but there's obviously some costumes that I don't have. So I don't have Ariel's costume, for instance. And I think Poseidon has a costume now. I don't have his costume. At any rate, we'll just go through what I do have here. You can see there's the double Poseidons maxed. I never really used the second one at all. 2 Ariels maxed, and on the next row down there's a 3rd Ariel at 70. I was going to max her, and then all those I got a bunch of Toxicondras and Exnifolds and some other healers that I used first. Ursina is in there. Atomos, all part of the Atlantis family. I used to run them pretty frequently. Triton, Paraproteus that I never touch. Gadiris, Malia, one of the most important 3 stars in the game. Got her limit broke for sure. 2 copies. 4 copies of Menissus. Back in the day, I was using a lot of snipers, especially for 3-star events. I was just looking for fast heroes that could take people out. I haven't used that strategy in a while. So another copy of Ursina and Ariel sitting there. Cage Barado with the costume maxed. Mitsuko. Here's another one, 3 Danza burrows. Before you criticize it, I have a playlist on my channel for the Danza burrow attacks, and I did a 4-star tournament once exclusively using Danza burrows, and it was phenomenal. Danza burrow by himself can be a finicky hero, but 3 of them together makes for some interesting fights. Sumitomo, rarely use that hero. Amiona, I have 2 of them maxed. I used to run 2 Amionas with 3 of the Stone Cleaves, and then I realized conceptually they actually have terrible synergy. They don't work well together, even though they're all ghosting, which is why then I decided to max two more Stone Cleaves to replace the Amionas. So again, check out those fights. There's some of the fights up there with Stone Cleave and Amionas mixed. But it's kind of cool when you ghost and enemy can't really hit much. Chochin, I like him. 2 copies of him max there. Second Mitsuko only at 60. 4 Namahajis. Those are maxed from back in the day. That used to be an important hero for doing the challenge events, and I just don't use them anymore. Nari, I'm not a fan of dodge, so she's not gotten any food. Backup Cage sitting there. Tarlac, obviously, for the Titans. Wilbur, 2 copies of him maxed for all the important things Wilbur does. Missandra Mokar, sitting at 70. Never got that final level. Gobbler, Agui, Gato. There's a bunch of Gatos there. Again, you're going to see a lot of these 3-star snipers. I used to do a lot of 3-star snipers. 2 Muggies. He's fun to play with, but I just can't take Muggy seriously or use him for anything that matters. Gilra sitting there hoping for emblems someday, and then some more backups with Mokar and Missandra. And now we are switching gears. I don't know why when you sort by origin it goes from season 2 and now it's getting into some event stuff. So I guess we're going to switch gears and get into event things here. So this is the 3 Kingdoms. I got a lot of the available heroes here, but not all of them. I think I missed 1 from the initial batch. But Sun here at 20, she was super important. I leveled her up right away before anyone else. Daya-chan, need to get some emblems on her, but a great healer. The Xiaohao Dune, I got 2 of them maxed at 20 emblems now. I find them to be a phenomenal 4-star hero. And let me just check something here. Alright, looked like I stopped recording. I want to make sure the recording was still going. Sorry for the interruption there. Guan Yu, I had him in my leveling team, as do I do Labu here. The 2 of them, so I'm interested in feedback. Do they go all the way or do they stay put? Wang Yuan here, I have her maxed but have not used her. Same with Zhao Yu. You know, one of the problems with the Small Giant the last year and a half, they dump heroes so fast that if you max them, it's like hard to get a chance to even use them or start to really learn them. Yao down here, I limit broke 2 of those right away. Super powerful hero for the 3-star challenge events. Jing I haven't used, Lai I haven't used, but I have a max sitting there. Another Jai Dun, I might do a 3rd copy because I really like him. Sun, I possibly will do another copy of her just for Mythic Titans. Penalite, like the extra damage against heroes that summon minions. France, there's 2 copies of him maxed here, only 1's emblemed and limit broke. 2 copies of Ren maxed. Sometimes use Ren, not super excited about Ren. Quentin, I already mentioned, I have sitting at 370, still trying to decide. Aderin, I have as a dark 3-star healer, but I rarely attack with dark, so I haven't really used her. Back up Quentin. Ferrant is Ferrant, so we've been running red tank sometimes with Ferrant, so I got him limit broked. Bird off the huge booster of tile damage. Melina, Matiga. Well, we're getting into the magic hero now. So I don't use those too often. Agrafina and Nadziata, I have them sitting at 370. Haven't decided if they're going anywhere. Sergey I use on my fast dark team because he's ready to go. Antoine sometimes get action. Anastasia 2 copies, but haven't really used her for much. And Dulgun I haven't touched, nor Cornell. And then we have some backups here with Melina. And now we get into the ninjas. So Ruby Cobalt at 20, Onyx at 19, and then a triplicate here of the triples, Garnet twins. Well, triplets, excuse me. And then I have the Ametrain twins. They're some of my favorite ninjas. Topaz, maxed but almost never use her. Micah, I wish I could have the mats back. I never use Micah. And Jade will be at 370 forever. Sapphire, 3 copies. Sitting there maxed. I was using those for a bit, but not in a while. Shale I haven't really touched. And then there's just a couple backup ninjas here that maybe they'll get used someday. Continuing on, we are into the event heroes here. So we have the Starfall Circus. I have every hero in Starfall Circus except Bobo, who I probably spent way too much chasing and did not get. But Faline is sitting here maxed. We got 2 Director Zuris maxed, another one there at 370. So definitely loading up my roster on healers. 2 Marcels. Love that character. Deandre, I know a lot of you like Deandre. I have never really used him. Eichberg hasn't really happened. 2 copies of Emilio here. Started feeding and kind of lost interest. Candy, haven't really used her. The Whacker, I used a couple of those. There's 3 of them there, and piling them up has been helpful sometimes. Euro and Fluffy, I just not feeling the love on them, so they've been sitting. I don't know, sniper thing with me. Backup Zuris, that may happen. Theobald, not so sure on him, but he reflects like a Mitsuko or Ursina, but he's slow. Those 2 are average, so that kind of turned me off from him. So now getting into the Fable of Grim Forest. I'm missing Boss Wolf and Snow White. Recently got Puss in Boots, which has been a fun hero to play with. And the other heroes here I haven't maxed. So the 5 stars, I don't know why I have a pile of Rumpelstiltskins here. Well, 2 of each and 2 Red Hoods, but haven't had a desire to max any of those. Hansel and Gretel, 2 Hansels max. I just don't use them that often. Same with Nomer and Pixie. Now the Guardians, that's a different story. Super important heroes, and I have all of them, and I have them all maxed except Guardian Kong. I did just recently chase the costume for Guardian Kong, but that did not happen. But so Guardian Panther, obviously super important with the elemental defense down. Guardian Chameleon, recently got him. I got him in the Soul Exchange, so maxed him right away. Guardian Gazelle, I don't use as much as I thought I would, just because I don't like that I can't include attack banners when I use her. Guardian Falcon's obviously important, as is Jackal. I have a pair of Jackals. Kong never got maxed. And second Panther at 20, third Panther at 1. Guardian Bat's got a pair of them maxed. I got 1 limit broke. Lemur I've never used, and Owl I have not even started feeding. And then there's another Kong there. Getting on to Knights of Avalon. Just missing Guinevere and Morgan Le Fay. Got Lady of the Lake with costume. Black Knight, second Black Knight at 70. Sir Lancelot 20. Merlin's Max Trevel. Got 3 of those maxed, and you can see there's some waiting. I might do that evil thing and get a bunch of Trevels maxed just for fun. 2 Baunchins. Arthur's never gotten fed. Again, sort of like Phileas Fogg, I just don't see a need to do it when I have Frida with the elemental defense down. And then we're moving over to Pirates of Corellia. I did get all of the pirates. So Finley's max, I don't have his costume. I did get Marie Therese's costume. Captain Kestrel, that's a recent acquire. Boomer, I used to enjoy running 3 Peters in the past and silencing, which was kind of fun. Sally is like the hardest hitting 3-star in the game. If you get to chain through 5 people, she's doing a lot of damage. So I got 2 of those limit broke. Use those in the challenge event and in rush events. Sargasso, I just have too many good dark 5-star options. But Sargasso I'd be tempted to max just because he steals health. So he's nice to pair. Health stealers are great with heroes that make fiends, because then you steal the health and they can't get the fiends off them. Vodnik, I haven't used him in a long time. And then back up Marie and Lady Locke, excuse me. Now we're getting into the Slayers of Fell Shadow. Cersei, super important hero, although got booted from my Titan team with Sun, because Sun has that increasing defense down. Cillian is just a beast, 2 copies maxed, 1 limit broke with emblems. Caitlyn, I think, is a great hero. I maxed her. I want to use her more. I just keep giving wizard emblems to other people. So got a pair of Orlas and Odins. They're good. Two Odins, 2 Orlas. Pair those up with Cillians on some events. The last week's 4-stars, I used those a bunch. Maeve and Norrell, 2 copies and 3 copies respective. They're really strong 3-star heroes. And now we are moving over to the Legend of Villains. And that's another event that I've been fortunate to have gotten all of the heroes that are available for that event. Karnov, obviously super important. Any of those heroes that boost tiles. Asteris, I was using him with the extra defense down. Haven't been touching him as much. Double Toxicandras, she is just a phenomenal healer. Crystalis, it took me a while to get around to maxing her. I ended up maxing her because she recently got buffed, and she's on that fast hit all ice team that I have. Isrod and Ingolf, they're just sitting there max doing nothing, as is Sangreer. I've never used them. Ed, I've never used. Shkretkok, I've used sometimes. I got 2 of them sitting there. Dark Lord, the sniper thing, just not happening. And Wonderland, I think that was the first event that I maxed out everybody. So I've shown already that I have them as one of my farming teams. So got all of Wonderland. Captain of Diamonds is kind of cool against a minion team. And Cheshire Cat is great for mixing things up. You can move a nasty tank away sometimes. I used to use Cheshire Cat for defense down on Titan, since he has an awesome defense down for a dark hero, but then Trevel bumped him. And second White Rabbit sitting at 70. That Finnicus is super powerful hero, big attack booster and mana booster. I use him in some 4-star challenge events instead of Sir Lancelot now. And back in the day, I had a love affair with Jabberwock. I thought I was going to max a bunch of them, and I started feeding, and then I just stopped. Shrub Bear, some viewers got on me a few weeks ago that I'm not using Shrub Bear enough. 3-star taunt, so I might have to give Shrub Bear another look. But we'll see. And then there's just backup copies there of Alice, White Rabbit, and Queen of Hearts. Seasonal events, the bunnies, the Springvale heroes. Now that I got Master Lepus, I have all of them. So you got Roosterly and Lepus. There were some emblems. Killhair with costume is still waiting for emblems, just not gotten there. Jack O'Hare, I have 3 copies maxed. including the costumes. I will probably be starting to use those in some events coming up. I like the fact that they can pair up now without hurting their own defense. They just hurt their own attack. But 3 of them in a row hitting everybody, I'm kind of excited to see what happens with them. Lady Wollerton, haven't used her much, but good healer, fast. Chick Jr., I will always disagree with those using Chick Jr. for the challenge events, but I know they're doing really well with them. Parasquire Rabbits, again, snipers rarely get used. And then backup copies of Killhair, Ursulo, and Master Lepus. By the way, I keep backup copies because you never know when they're going to do a buff, and things might change, or a new element to the game comes out, and then suddenly a hero that we didn't really use in the past suddenly becomes relevant. So I always keep 2 copies just in case. Geffarr, I love fast hitting 4-star. He is a sniper, but there's not a lot of fast dark 4-star heroes. Somebody was asking me about that last week. I was using him with Cheshire Cat and Ametrine, and you can get some damage done. Jabbers, maxed in sitting, almost never use them. Now, we did switch, obviously, into the Summer Sands. Sorry I didn't mention that, but starting with Geffarr, we're at the Summer Sands. And Summer Sands, I got a copy of everybody, but I haven't maxed most of these heroes, at least the 5s. Rana, haven't seen a use for her. Yunin, I have 2 copies, haven't fed them or rock. Had a pair of Hassans back in the day when I was using 3-star snipers. I was using Hassans. And Armin almost never gets action. Now, that changes a bit when we get to Morlovia. I do have the entire cast of the Morlovia heroes here. So Francine, if you watch my wars, I use Francine a lot. Vanda. Actually, if you look at my raid tournament from today, I had an awesome use of Francine against a double Alfreak team. So Francine gets some playtime for sure. Vanda, wanted to pair her up with some of my Fiend heroes since she steals healing. I just haven't got around to getting her emblems. Same thing with Victor. Frank is important for that defense down. Valerie, I used to use her in 4-star events because two of them going very fast. That can be helpful sometimes. Jack, never got 2 of them maxed, and I just never used them like I thought I would. Vlad sits, Francine backup, and Victor backup. Now the Santa family, this is another one that I've been fortunate with pulls. Got Pengi on that last day. So probably don't have to go too much with the Santa family. You guys know how awesome they are, but we got everybody sitting here. Got double buddies just in case, double Frosties, 2 Rudolphs, and then a bunch of backups. Mizutiro, that mystery hero from the Legends event, somehow I managed to get 2 of those. Even at 370, he's really fun to use in combination with Garnet against Alfreak. I have a video up on that. If you haven't seen that, it might be worth checking out. And now it looks like we're going to get into the mess of Hero of the Months. So Hero of the Month's another place I've been pretty fortunate. I started playing the game the better part of 2 years after it was released, and they definitely had the better part of 2 years worth of Hero of the Months out. But I managed to collect them all except for Gregorian, who I really would like to have. And I really hate that I don't have him. If you have him, I probably hate you for having him. But he's a super important hero against Titans. But such is life. At least I got Guardian Chameleon. That kind of helps. So Hero of the Months. If you do a lot of summoning, you probably are grabbing the Hero of the Months. So I don't know that I'm going to go into these in any great detail. I'll just scroll through them slowly so you can see that they're all here. If there's any comments or feedback. A lot of people are surprised that I never maxed a single copy of Teloria. That was such a mess at the time, I just didn't even want to participate in that, so I never maxed her. And most of these, there's 2 or 3 copies, depending on who they are. I might have saved them. Lacey I haven't maxed yet because I don't have the costume. I'm not as excited about her. just the way she is. And that's it for Heroes of the Month. And now we're getting into Season 1. And I have all Season 1 heroes. And I think I'm only missing just a few costumes. And we all know Season 1, so I'll just scroll through these as well. I don't know that there's a need for me to go into any specific detail on who's here or why. Alright, so I told you there's like 3 Banes because I was doing all the snipers. You might ask why there's 5 Dawas. Again, no surprise, check out my Dawa playlist. I've had a lot of fun with 5 Dawas. And I still have my dark team of 2-star heroes maxed from back in the day when they had that one 2-star event. That's the only team that I saved, but they are still taking up 5 slots on my roster. And the rest of these are feeders. And if we jump over, I guess we'll round out by showing troops. Troops are always kind of challenging to look at. So I'll just explain it as I randomly scroll through this. So I apologize if my words aren't matching up exactly to what we're seeing. But I have 4 mana troops in each color maxed. I'm working on a 5th. I have a bunch of ninja troops. I only have fed a bunch of the blue ones here just for going for Titan records. I'm starting to catch up on those. I only have 1 magic hero, currently at 5. I'm not super excited about the magic heroes. And I have some crits thrown in here. I keep hoping, praying someday that they will buff the critical troops and make them worthwhile. So for the 3-star troops, I have at least 4 heroes, excuse me, at least 4 troops maxed in each of the colors. For Dark, Holy, and Fire, I have 5 copies. Nature and Blue, I just have 4. I tried to concentrate mostly on the attack 3 stars. That'll be more obvious when we get down to the fires. So I have 20, 20, 20, 20. I have 4 at 20 that are the attack troop, and then I have 1 at 20 that's on the defense troop. And my last attack troop I'm still building up here. That one's at 13. Fire is the predominant attack color for challenge events, which is why I maxed those out. And since we attack more than we defend, I have mostly attackers done. And then 2-star troops, I have 7 maxed in each color. I have 5 attack troops. Let's just show the dark ones, probably easier just to show a set. So I have 5 attack troops and 2 defensive troops in each color. And that's it for the roster. Beyond that on the troops, just from all the crazy farming I do, there is just endless amount of 1-star feeders. I mean, there's tens of thousands of them, literally. Like, look at this, we're not even through the darks. It just goes and goes and goes. But this would happen when you do obsessive amounts of farming for other materials. So I really wish they would come up with a better solution on what to do with all these troops. I'm sure it's taking up a monster amount of space on their servers, just storing the fact that one person has this many troops. Look at this, they're still going through purple. And it's really insane. I'd be kind of curious if they gave me a total how many troops are sitting here, but it's not worth the food to feed the ones. Oh, and then we finally got to yellow. So that's it for my roster. Hope you enjoyed it.